The market of Kapilavastu was alive with noise, filled with merchants selling their goods and people haggling prices. Buddha walked silently among them, his serene presence contrasting the commotion of the bustling marketplace surrounding him. Disciples followed closely, observing the activity around them. Curious about the purpose of their visit to the busy streets, Buddha stopped at a vendor selling silks and gems, watching the eager buyers scramble to obtain the finest pieces. Turning to his disciples, he said softly, "Observe how the people chase possessions, believing they bring lasting happiness and peace." A man approached Buddha, bowing respectfully, and said, "Master, I have earned great wealth, yet I feel restless and unsatisfied." Buddha replied with compassion, "The more you chase material wealth, the more you become a prisoner of your desires and fears." He gestured towards a golden statue of a deity on display. Even gold, though revered, cannot fill the emptiness of the heart. Another disciple asked, "Master, if wealth does not bring happiness, why do so many relentlessly pursue it with unwavering determination?" Buddha responded, "Because they are trapped in an illusion, believing that external possessions can heal the suffering of their souls." He continued walking, leading his disciples to a shaded area away from the noise, and began to share a story. There was once a man who discovered a treasure hidden beneath a tree, and his joy knew no bounds. Fearing theft, he guarded it night and day, abandoning his family, friends, and responsibilities to protect his newfound wealth. Over time, his treasure became a burden, and his life was consumed by paranoia and isolation, leaving him deeply miserable. One day, thieves stole his treasure, and in despair, he cursed his fate, realizing too late the futility of greed. The disciples listened attentively, each reflecting on the implications of the tale and its parallels to their own lives. Buddha said, "Wealth, like a shadow, is impermanent. Chasing it leads to suffering, as attachment breeds fear and dissatisfaction. Material wealth, when hoarded, decays, but when distributed wisely, it blossoms like lotuses rising untainted from murky waters." The disciples listened intently, their minds absorbing the essence of Buddha's teachings as rain nourishes the earth after drought. The merchant said proudly, "Master, I have accumulated great riches through hard work. Surely, this is a sign of my success?" Buddha looked at him kindly and asked, "Do your riches bring you peace, or do they increase your worries and fears?" The merchant hesitated, then admitted, "I fear losing what I have, and I often feel anxious despite having more than I need." Buddha said, "Wealth is like water in the palm of your hand. The more you grasp it, the quicker it escapes." Sudatta's tale remained etched in their memories, a luminous beacon guiding their steps toward enlightened and prosperous lives. The Buddha's teachings transcended time, echoing in the hearts of humanity seeking the profound essence of true prosperity. Buddha continued, "When one understands the impermanence of wealth, they are free to pursue a life of simplicity and wisdom." A young disciple asked, "Master, how can we live without attachment when the world around us values wealth above all else?" Buddha replied, "By cultivating mindfulness and recognizing the transient nature of material things, we can rise above the illusions of society." Sudatta's story became their mirror, revealing paths untraveled, filled with potential to nurture harmony, wisdom, and eternal peace. Another day, as dawn painted the sky with hues of amber, the Buddha gathered his disciples near Bamboo Grove. The crisp morning air carried the melodies of birds, merging harmoniously with the whispers of swaying bamboo leaves. "My dear disciples," Buddha said, his voice tender yet profound, "true prosperity demands harmony among all, transcending divisions and conflicts." The beggar expressed gratitude, and Buddha said, Even small acts of giving can bring immense joy and transform the lives of others. Turning to the merchant, he said, "You have the power to bring light to darkness by sharing the abundance you hold." Each village, consumed by greed, sought to claim the river's bounty solely for itself, deepening the chasm of animosity. One day, a wandering monk passed through this land, observing the strife that turned fertile lands into barren despair. As they departed, the disciples reflected on the events of the day and the profound lessons Buddha had imparted to them. Buddha said, "Remember, true wealth lies not in gold or possessions, but in a heart free from greed and attachment." The disciples nodded, their understanding deepened, and they vowed to embody the teachings in their thoughts, words, and actions. The group continued their journey, spreading the wisdom of detachment and compassion, inspiring others to seek contentment beyond material gain. Through his gentle words and actions, Buddha illuminated the path to true prosperity, grounded in inner peace and selfless love. Another day, another journey brought Buddha and his disciples to a village suffering under the weight of famine and scarcity. The land was barren, crops wilted in the fields, and the villagers' faces were etched with despair and silent desperation. Buddha walked among them, observing the fear and tension as each clung tightly to what little they had managed to preserve. He called the villagers to gather beneath the shade of a dying tree, his presence offering solace amid their distress. "My friends," Buddha said, "suffering breeds fear, and fear traps the heart in a cycle of isolation and greed." A villager spoke up, "Master, we have nothing to give. Each family barely survives. Sharing would only worsen our plight." Buddha replied, "The mind believes in scarcity where the heart fears loss. Yet, in generosity, abundance is revealed to us." A poor farmer stepped forward, holding his last handful of rice, and offered it to Buddha and the starving crowd. Buddha accepted the humble gift with reverence, saying, "This act illuminates the power of giving, creating freedom from the chains of fear." Buddha's voice, gentle yet unwavering, continued to guide them toward a life where unity illuminated the path to true prosperity. The disciples bowed respectfully, their hearts brimming with gratitude, ready to carry forth the wisdom of the Buddha's teachings. The villagers, once bound by fear, began to share their meager resources, discovering an unexpected spirit of abundance within them. Buddha said, "Money and possessions are tools, neither good nor evil. Their purpose lies in how they are utilized by us." He continued, "When wealth serves the greater good, it liberates the soul. When hoarded, it binds us to suffering and fear." A disciple asked, "Master, how do we overcome the fear of loss that holds us back from giving freely to others?" Buddha replied, "By understanding the impermanence of all things and realizing that clinging leads only to suffering, not to safety." Another villager approached, saying, "But Master, how can we trust that our offerings will be enough to sustain the community?" Buddha smiled, "Trust lies not in quantity but in the spirit of giving. Generosity unites and creates abundance beyond measure." As the crowd shared their offerings, Buddha said, "The act of giving opens the heart, creating freedom and harmony in the community." Later, under the moonlight, Buddha spoke to his disciples, reflecting on the villagers' transformation through acts of kindness and sharing. He said, "Generosity is not reserved for times of plenty. Even in hardship, the smallest act of giving creates immense beauty." A disciple asked, "Master, should we always give, even when we ourselves are struggling to survive and our resources are limited?" Buddha replied, "True giving comes not from abundance but from the willingness to share." Knowing that compassion leads to harmony, the disciples reflected deeply, inspired by the farmer's humble offering and the unity it had brought to the struggling village. Buddha said, "In the giving, we receive peace. In the sharing, we uncover the interconnectedness of all beings and their needs. The villagers gathered once again, expressing their gratitude to Buddha, whose teachings had sparked hope and restored unity among them. A woman, holding her child, said tearfully, "Master, we thought we were abandoned, but your presence has brought light into our darkness." Buddha said gently, "You are never abandoned, for generosity and compassion are always within you, awaiting your courage to awaken them. True prosperity blossoms when wisdom dispels ignorance, filling the heart with peace and the mind with unwavering clarity." The disciples sat in awe, their souls stirred by the story of Kema, resonating with the timeless truths it unveiled. "Seek not the treasures of the world," Buddha continued, "but cultivate the infinite treasure of inner wisdom and enlightenment. External riches may vanish like the wind, but the light within shall endure, illuminating life's darkest moments with serenity." Another day, another journey brought Buddha and his disciples to the serene banks of a flowing river in the countryside. The sound of the water was calming, and the disciples sat around Buddha, eager to learn from his profound wisdom again. Buddha began, "Observe the river. It flows without attachment, nourishing life, never clinging to its course, always embracing impermanence gracefully." The story of Kema became a luminous beacon, guiding souls toward the boundless wealth of inner peace and spiritual fulfillment. Buddha's voice, gentle yet resolute, continued to resonate, urging them to transcend worldly illusions and embrace the eternal light within. "So, too, must we balance our inner and outer lives," another disciple said. "Master, some renounce wealth entirely to pursue enlightenment. Should we abandon material needs to achieve spiritual growth?" Buddha replied, "Renunciation is one path, but for many, mindful living within the world brings greater harmony and understanding of life." He added, "Excess and deprivation both create suffering. The middle way teaches us to find harmony, neither clinging nor rejecting completely." Buddha told a story. Once, a musician struggled to tune his instrument. If the strings were too tight, they snapped, but if the strings were too loose, they produced no sound. Rajan knelt beside the stream, his fingers trailing through its waters, seeking solace and inspiration. The sun descended, painting the sky in hues of amber and crimson as the day waned peacefully in Jetavana. A villager approached Buddha, offering fruit and seeking guidance, asking, "Master, how do we know when we have enough in life?" Buddha said, "Mindfulness reveals our needs. Ask yourself, does this serve my peace and purpose?" Simplicity often brings clarity and joy. He continued, "True wealth is not measured by possessions but by contentment and freedom from the endless craving." For more, another disciple asked, "Master, is it wrong to strive for success and wealth if our intentions are to help others generously?" Buddha replied, "Intent matters greatly. When success flows from compassion and serves the greater good, it becomes a path to liberation." He added, "Like the river nourishing all it touches, let your success bring light and life, not greed or selfishness. It is the liberation of spirit from illusions while embracing life's dynamic essence." His words echoed through me, challenging assumptions and encouraging broader contemplation of life's intricate dance, such as mindful prosperity. A disciple asked, "Master, how do we ensure our hearts remain compassionate while navigating the distractions and temptations of the material world?" Buddha replied, "Through mindfulness, gratitude, and generosity." I marveled at the nuanced interplay he described, each insight building upon layers of understanding. How can one foster such connection when misunderstanding and conflict prevail? I asked, reflecting on strained relationships. There was a king who ruled wisely, his heart full of compassion, treating his wealth as a tool to serve others. Though he lived in luxury, he remained humble, using his palace to shelter the needy and his riches to feed the hungry. His people loved him not for his wealth but for his kindness and wisdom, which brought peace and prosperity to all. The disciples listened, imagining the wisdom of the king and drawing parallels to their own lives and choices about wealth and service. Sada bowed deeply, his voice shaking as he asked, "Master, what does it truly mean to be liberated from suffering and illusion?" Buddha looked at him with gentle compassion and replied, "Liberation is not a destination, but a journey of wisdom, mindfulness, and transformation." Buddha gestured to the night sky. Stars scattered across its vast expanse, their light reflecting upon the pond's still surface. A woman asked, "Master, I feel torn between my duties as a mother and my desire to seek enlightenment. How do I choose?" Buddha replied, "Enlightenment is found in every act of love and care. Your duties, performed mindfully, are a path to growth." He continued, "Balance does not mean abandoning responsibilities but embracing them with understanding, compassion, and detachment from selfish desires." Buddha continued, "A beggar once approached a king and requested wisdom instead of wealth, choosing knowledge over ephemeral material possessions. His voice resonated softly through the gardens, enveloping his disciples in the truth. Do not let it chain your heart to suffering." The night fell, and under the starlit sky, Buddha rested by the river while his disciples reflected on the day's teachings. The lessons of balance, mindfulness, and mindful living resonated deeply, reminding all of the interconnectedness of life, purpose, and prosperity. As they prepared to leave, Buddha said, "Remember, balance is the key to living a life of peace and enlightened understanding in the world." The disciples walked alongside the villagers, spreading the wisdom they had received, inspiring others to embrace moderation and mindful living. Through his teachings, Buddha showed the path to harmony, where material and spiritual realms coexist, illuminating the way to liberation. Buddha gestured to the stream flowing gently nearby, its waters moving harmoniously with the rhythm of nature. Unburdened by obstacles, he said, "The stream flows freely, its course unrestrained, its essence unchanged." Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.